Hey Slick Review fans, coming at you with another video. Today we're going to check out a case that you need for your iPhone if you've got butterfingers. This is going to make it virtually indestructible. If you are new to the channel, we do a lot of tech reviews and advice, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. But let's get started. Alright guys, so we're going to get right into it. Checking out the box, there's really nothing to look at. Here's a basic diagram of what we're going to get into. This is a multi-piece case that is meant to be basically as protective as it can be. So you can pause that, read it for yourself, but you're going to see all that when we get into action here. So it just slides off here, and inside, really not much to look at. Here's the beast of the case by itself. Here's a couple tips. We know what to do with those. Basic instructions, again, we know what to do with those. And then, okay, so we're gonna have, this is gonna be a little bit involved. There's a screwdriver here. They give you an Allen wrench, oh boy, and a couple other little pieces of propaganda. So we will throw all that off to the side. So first, let's check this thing out. So it does have an integrated screen protector. It feels like it's just plastic, not glass or anything. On the website, it does say to remove any existing screen protector you already have on your device, just because it might affect touch sensitivity. So that is something to keep in mind. This case is pretty much a set it and forget it. You don't really want to put this thing on and off just because, one, it looks like it might be a little of a pain. We've got a couple screws here, but also just if you run your phone with a screen protector most of the time, again, you are going to have to take it off to put this on. So just keep that in mind. So taking a tour of the case, we do have a couple buttons on the side here to do volume up and down, but it doesn't appear that you can get at the mute switch, you know, the silencer on the side of your iPhone. I don't see any flap or anything like that to get to that. So again, keep that in mind. On the bottom here, we do have access to the lightning port on the bottom of your phone. There's a flap there for that. We do have holes for the speakers, so you should still be able to hear sound. Now with this type of case, pretty much every one I've ever tested or held in my hands at some point, you are going to experience some sort of sound degradation when you're using like speakerphone or trying to just listen to music or like watch YouTube videos or something like that. You're going to have kind of muffled sound, and that really can't be avoided. But they do have speaker holes for that. On the side, we do have a place for the power button as well. Of course, we have cutouts on the back for the camera and a little bit of company branding and things like that. So the next thing to do is put it on. So once you get all the screws out, this top piece just lifts off, and again, we have an integrated plastic screen protector there, so we'll set that off to the side for a second. Get some of this dummy material out of here. We just have some inserts. There's a microfiber cleaning cloth if you want to wipe down your screen before you put it in here, because again, it is kind of involved, so make sure your phone is clean before you set it in. There's a wrist strap as well, which can be kind of nice if you're thinking about using this because you go boating or you're at the beach a lot or really whatever. There is a wrist strap for that, and then they give you a couple extra screws in case you lose any of these other ones, so you have some extras on standby. So we're going to set that stuff off to the side. Here is the rubber piece, which is what gives you your water protection as well as your drop protection. Pretty much everything that makes the case work is right here, just a big chunk of rubber pretty much. And then on the back is a thick plastic shell with all of the other stuff kind of here too. So what I like to do with cases that claim to be waterproof, you've seen this on all of my other waterproof case tests, we like to make sure that it is actually waterproof. So that's what we're going to do. So guys, we're going to test the waterproof claims of this case. I recommend doing this whenever you get a case that claims to be water resistant, just so you know if it's actually going to do its job. The way I recommend doing it is putting some tissue paper inside the case and then subjecting it to water for at least 5 minutes, and then come back and check it. If the tissue is dry, you know it did its job. Alright guys, so it's been about 5 minutes. Let's get this case out and see how it performed. So we'll just take a minute to get the screws off. Now that we've got all the screws out, let's get our tissue out of here. And as we can see, no water droplets, anything on the tissue, which means that the case did its job. Okay guys, now that we've done the water test, we can actually put this case on and see how it performs. So I'm going to drop my iPhone 10 in here, it just kind of falls right into place. Really no fuss or anything like that. You can already tell it's pretty heavy, but I think you kind of knew that going into this. So again, make sure your screen is clean as well as this. Use the included microfiber cloth just to clean everything off, and then set the faceplate in and put the screws in. And after the case is completely put on, we're going to check all the phone's functions just to make sure that they still work. So Face ID works as it should, no issues there. Now just for fun, let's cue up some music just to see how the speakers perform. Now again, I'm expecting a little bit of sound degradation just because that kind of happens, but let's see how it performs. So again, guys, I don't know how well it translates coming through over the microphone and everything here, but I can definitely tell. It's basically like if I had my phone outside of this case, if I was like holding my palm over it a little bit and kind of letting the sound out, that's kind of what it sounds like. And that makes sense because now there's all sorts of membranes and all sorts of other stuff in front of the speakers. But it still does get pretty loud, and it just sounds a little muffled is all. But if you were going to use this to, again, watch YouTube videos, Netflix, like, again, if you're a construction worker or something, and you're using this because you have Butterfingers on the job site, I think if you're going to use this, like, over lunch and watch Netflix or YouTube, I think you'll be just fine. And even if you don't care for how it sounds, you can just as easily still use Bluetooth headphones or something like that. So I wouldn't let that steer you away, really. But overall, again, it feels really solid. It does, of course, increase the size of the phone quite a bit just because we have these bezels and everything else around here. And again, the weight. But actually, you know, for what you get, if this is what you're in the market for, if you want a case that you can pretty much play soccer with your iPhone or, you know, hacky sack it around, if you don't want to be worried about it, I think this is a really good way to go. Especially right now, it's priced under $30, and they even have a really good discount right now. I don't know how long that's going to last, so if this is something you're considering, I would jump on it right away because you never know, that discount could go away tomorrow. But again, even at full price, which is around 28 bucks right now, I think this is an excellent way to go. I think you get really good bang for your buck. If what you're after is a waterproof, drop-proof case that you don't have to worry about your $1,000 phone anymore, I think this is definitely the way to go. So as you can see, guys, again, if you have Butterfingers, if you drop your phone a lot, this is really the best case that I've ever checked out as far as drop protection goes, and it even has water resistance as well. And right now it's priced right, it's under 30 bucks, and right now there is a limited time discount if you run and get it right away. So again, I can't stress this enough. As far as value for money, this is definitely the way to go. If you're working outside, you work construction, police, fire, EMS, stuff like that, if you're running around a lot and you might drop your phone, or even if you're just outdoorsy, basically anything where you might drop your phone once in a while, this is definitely the way to go. My question for you guys is, what do you think about this? Have you ever heard of these guys before? I personally haven't, but from what I can see, this is definitely an awesome product. What I want to know from you guys is, what do you think? Is this something you're going to pick up? How do you think this compares to the more expensive brands that are kind of out there? Let us know down in the comments. But if you guys have any other comments or questions, please do leave them down below. I try to get to every single one. Find me on social media so you can stay in touch. But most importantly, guys, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. That's all I've got for you this time, guys. See you next time.